esteemed event host, so we need a real big round of applause for this guy, our Zoho evangelist, Raju Vegesna.
Thanks, Wilson. Yep. Good morning. We hope you had a good productive day yesterday. And we have noticed some good number of people show up at the reception evening. Thank you for coming. And how many of you tried Zoho Pulse? Not many? You should. So we launched it yesterday, and we had good number of sign-ups. So people are trying it, they're excited about it, so I highly encourage you to give it a try. Before I get into the topic, we thought we'll talk about something new today. So for that, let me invite Bharat Sridhar, who'll talk about a new offering from Zoho.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Raju. We'd like to introduce today a new product called Zoho Vault. And Vault is a password management product for teams. Now, many of you and many of us have probably used password managers in the past for ourselves, where we just have 5,000 passwords for different websites or different accounts, and we just don't know how to remember all of them. We use a password management tool to store all of them. That's not really what this is. This isn't meant for individual users. This is for teams. It's not ideal, but there are a lot of cases where you're working in a team or in a company and you have 5, 10, 15, 2,000 people on a team that all need to share the same password for the same website or the same account somewhere. And someone who is well-versed in security would tell you this is a bad idea, but it's just inevitable that you'll have to share passwords for different services among team members. So that's what Zoho Vault is for. Obviously, security is a priority for us, so all of these passwords are stored securely in the cloud. We can't even access them even if we wanted to. The government could come knock down our door and they wouldn't be able to force us to look at them. All of these are only accessible by you, the user. We also support sharing securely. That's important when you have a number of people on your team that all need to access the same site. Again, it's a thing that comes up very often in a lot of businesses, and we've had a number of requests for that functionality. Let me go ahead and show you just very quickly the product itself. This is what you'll see when you first enter the website after you've logged into Zoho. There's a passphrase, which is how we make sure that all of your passwords are kept securely without being accessible by anybody else. Obviously, the first thing that you would do when you start using this product is to add a secret, which is our way of saying you're storing a set of credentials, the username, the password. This also supports additional fields for those sites or other services that need more detail rather than just the username and password. We also support automatically generating passwords when you just want a really secure password and you don't want to have to come up with that yourself. We support that. And again, this is for any kind, it's not just for websites, this is any kind of credential. One of the neat things that we do here, specifically for websites though, is the auto logon feature. So let me show you that very quickly. This is specifically for a corporate account in Amazon. Amazon has corporate accounts where you all can be on the same purchase account. And I just clicked on that icon, click to login button at the top, and you can see that there's a Vault demo account logged in. So nothing to type manually. One of the important things here when you're sharing passwords among your teams is you need to be able to revoke access in case one of your team members leaves the organization. And we do have very fine control over what users are able to access any credential at any certain point in time. You can see exactly who has access. You can revoke access individually or for a number of people at the same time. And of course, there is a full audit log for any of the sensitive actions that you might need to go and look at later on. We also have an iPhone app for this product. Android is coming soon. iPhone is already here. And the pricing, I think, speaks pretty much for itself. It's free or $1, so I'm not going to spend any more time on that one. And it's available today. So with that, I'll give it back to Raju. Thank you.
Thanks, Bharat. And for those of you keeping count, that's the second launch. So that's the second new product in the third day. And this is the kind of the practical, sensible tool that we want to offer to you, the businesses. And in fact, we use it internally, extensively internally. Imagine we have thousands of servers, and each server has multiple user accounts. And imagine managing all those passwords centrally and making sure that the right people have access to the right account in the right server. So we found it useful, and in fact, we have been using it for a long time, as is the case with many Zoho products. And we are excited to now reveal it to the product, reveal it to everyone. So what else? Do you want to see something else? Well, let's start with the mobile application. So if you've been to many of these trade shows, you know the pain of scanning your business cards, right? Or scanning your badges. You go to a vendor location, the vendor, picks up the badge scanner, tries to scan your badge, and it gets your information. Maybe he may take some notes on what you're asking. Like he'll ask your business card. Behind the business card, he'll probably write up, take some notes on what you want. And at the end of the event, he basically returns the badge scanning device to the event organizer. And if you're lucky, or if the vendor is lucky, he'll probably get a CSV file of all the leads that were collected at the event. And then that is a week later, you import that CSV file into your CRM into your CRM system, and say, hey, I have all my leads here. Now maybe I want to take notes to these individual records, individual leads. And if you're lucky, then all the employees there will pick up their business cards, check out the notes that they have taken, and maybe enter that into your CRM system. And then you send out a thank you email to all the attendees saying, hey, thank you for visiting the booth. A week later, by that time, the attendee may even forget what you were talking about, right? And that's typically the case. And those clunky badge scanners, they certainly were useful at one point. Well, now it's time to replace them. Replace them with mobile apps. Because remember, if you are at the booth, you just have one device, and everyone's kind of scrambling to scan a badge with that single device. Imagine what happens when you replace that with a mobile device. Everyone basically has a mobile phone, and you can pretty much scan leads anywhere, anytime, right? That has to be the case. Someone has to change it. So I'm excited to announce the Leads application. Leads is basically exactly that. It scans business cards, or it scans the badges at these trade shows in standard formats. And the nice part is it saves it into your CRM system. Well, let's just check it out. Maybe we can switch to the Apple TV. Okay, that's my phone, and here's the Leads app. I have a few leads scanned already yesterday. So let's scan a badge, right? So I choose the scan badge option. For now, it kind of supports QR code and it does some smart things, but let's get started. What if I want to scan a badge? So let's pick up my badge and scan it, just take a photo of it. The badge is smart enough to recognize that, or the app is smart enough to recognize that I have scanned in a reverse way and it'll try to extract it. So here, for example, it didn't get it right? So it didn't get my last name. So what happens here is, if it is not sure whether something is right, it'll automatically try to suggest a few things on the top. So what you can do is, I have my last name here, I want to drag that into my last name section and drop it there, and so that way you can kind of modify this. So if I want to change between first name and last name, it automatically does it. But let me scan my badge again to see if it'll get it right. Well, this time it got it perfectly, right? And the nice thing here is, again, I can add more information, and I can assign the lead to a lead owner. Let's say you have maybe an attendee coming from California, and you want to assign that as a lead to a salesperson who is in charge of California. You should be able to just go to lead owner, and it automatically lists the leads that you have in your CRM system if you log into Zoho CRM. So just pick the lead owner, select them, and that lead will be assigned to that particular lead. And of course, you can add another mobile number, email data, website data, and all of that. And notice there is an event section here. So when you select an event, in this case, I'll select a Zoholics event. So when you attend the event, you don't want to specify the event again and again. You just go there, keep scanning. So that's, and the application supports that, where you select the event once, and from then on, the application automatically chooses that event option till you change it the next time. Of course, you may be scanning some of these leads outside an event. So in that case, just say no event, in which case all the leads will show up in your leads module in your CRM system. And it does some nice things. For example, my badge doesn't have my Twitter ID. What if I want to enter my Twitter ID, right? So I'll just enter my Twitter ID and save it as a lead. And it automatically, if you notice, it automatically saved my information here. Now, if I go to the details, it is smart enough to pick up my photo from my Twitter profile and brings it up to the app. And of course, this information, including the photo, is also synchronized with your CRM system. But then it doesn't end there. When you add a lead, there are a lot of things that you may want to do. Like, well, you're talking to a customer, so you want to take some notes, right? So, well, we have added this add notes option, where basically you can take the notes right here within the app. And what if you want to add a task? The customer may say, hey, call me in a week, right? So just add a task, and let me just add a test task here. A task is added here, and this task is basically sent to the CRM system. It is added in the CRM system. Now, if I go to the task and if I try to say delete a task, it will say this action will also delete the task in your CRM system because it already exists in your CRM system. And it is smart enough to recognize duplicates. So in other words, if you're trying to add a lead that already exists, for example, if the email address already exists in your CRM system, it will prompt you, and you can merge the data, you can replace the data. So there is some smartness in the app, and it's kind of not as simple as what you see there. It's kind of more actually smarter than what you see out in the app. But then when you go to an event, not all events support this QR code, right? Some events have their own proprietary thing. Now, in such cases, the application automatically switches from QR to OCR, which means it tries to extract whatever information it can. So at least the name, the first name, last name, and the company name are available. So it tries to extract whatever information is available in case the code is not understood by the application. But then, what if that is not the case? Well, we integrated business card scanning right into the app. So you can go to the scan card option and scan any business card. it'll automatically extract the information from your business card and again save it as a lead in your CRM system. And if you look at the business card, it's not just English. The business cards can have content in 7 different languages. It basically extracts the content from any of those cards and saves that into your CRM system. And the application is actually launching today. And if you haven't noticed, we have our exhibitors out there who are using this particular app to scan all your badges. So do talk to them, check out the app, and the application is available for $4.99 in the App Store. It's a one-time fee. It's not a monthly fee, just one-time fee, and we hope you'll like it. Thank you. So, what else? Yeah, it's available on iPhone. Both card scanner and the Leads app will be available soon. I'm talking, a few months, but yeah, trust me, we are working on it. Again, this is a good example of big data, small apps that Sridhar talked about in our last year's event, where you have all the intelligence, all the smartness here at the back end, where we try to merge data from multiple systems and make sense out of the data and keep your applications really small at the client side. Again, we're not just focusing on providing one-to-one mapping between our back-end application and the mobile applications. We want to also offer the complementary applications as well. We recently launched Card Scanner. This is another complementary application to CRM. And that also, again, goes into the mobile focus that Sridhar was talking about. We increased the mobile team drastically, and that kind of shows. In fact, if you look at the event, we launched Pulse yesterday, and the Pulse is available on both iPhone as well as Android. And just Bharat announced the Zoho Vault. It is available on the iPhone, and you've seen Leads app now. It's available on the iPhone. So these are 4 new apps that's launched in 2 days. And when Sridhar said we were going to launch 50 plus mobile apps, he wasn't kidding. So, do you want to look at any other preview of any upcoming apps? Yeah. Let's do some mobile apps then. How many of you use Zoho Mail here? That's a good number. If you notice Zoho Mail, we basically have good support for standard protocols like POP and IMAP, so which means you can use any email client of your choice. And we also added support for ActiveSync, so which means your mail is pushed to you no matter which client you are in. And on top of it, we also developed web-based mail, so which means if you are on an iPhone or an Android or any mobile device, you can just go to m.zoho.com on a smartphone and access all the mails there. And we also optimized that to the web-based tablets, so which means if you go to a browser and say, I want to view my email, we have mobile optimized tablet, mobile optimized version of Zoho Mail as well. And we got some customer requests, a lot of customers asking, hey, there are some unique features in Zoho Mail, and I'm not able to take advantage of those if I use my custom email client. Can you guys develop a native mobile applications? So we told the team, so we thought we'll basically give it a shot. So I thought I'll probably give you a quick overview or quick preview of what's coming in Zoho Mail. This is the Zoho Mail native apps that the team is developing. Again, you see the list of your emails here. On the top, you see the inbox. If I swipe on the top, it slowly swipes to only 100 emails. And if I swipe again, it'll basically show me the emails from my favorites. So favorites is something that you can say, so it could be your boss, it could be someone else that are important or maybe part of your team. You can just add them to your favorites, and only it'll filter those emails to your favorites and display them right here. And on if you swipe horizontally on the left, you see all the folders that you have in Zoho Mail, and of course we support both folders and views and labels. So you can kind of view emails from any of these folders. And if you swipe to the right, you basically see the list of contacts you may have. So I can say check out, select a contact, go to view the contact details, and I can email her, or I can directly call her right from the mobile device. Again, I can add her to favorite, remove her, and so there are many things that we are adding for this favorite list itself. And of course, you always have the option to compose an email, add it from your address book. Again, note that this is the address book from Zoho. And there are some customers who use multiple email addresses. It could be multiple aliases. What if you want to send out an account in a different account? So just tap on the top email address there, and it will display the various email addresses that you're part of, and you can just select that and just move on. Or you can just simply swipe an email horizontally, and you'll see all the options like mark as unread, flag an email, move an email to a particular folder, and all these options are available. Again, this is just a preview. Please don't ask me when it's going to be released, and absolutely have no idea. So what else? Let's try something else. Want to look at one more? So let's switch to tablet this time. Can you reset? Change sources and change back. Yeah. Perfect. For those of you who looked at our CRM, we offered a native iPad application for CRM at last year's Zoholics event. We announced that. And it was, we got extremely good feedback, and it was received extremely well, and we have lots of users using it, in many cases actually exclusively on iPad. And we also launched mobile web app as well for the iPad, which means you can, on the iPhone, on the smartphone actually. So if you go to m.zoho.com or from your smartphone or your tablet, you'll be able to see all your leads, accounts, and all of that from your smartphone that is optimized and that is different from the actual web application. But the mobile web app has been optimized for smartphones. It was not really optimized for tablets. So we thought we'll just give it a try, see how it's going to look on the mobile tablets, and this is basically what we came up with. Again, this is still in the early stages in the development. We tried to keep the functionality intact and basically provide a nice touch-optimized interface for these mobile devices. So as you notice, the navigation is pretty straightforward. I can go to a lead, view all my leads, go to any lead details, view the details about the lead, add some notes to a lead. So similarly, look at the tasks, look at my events, refresh any of the content. If you want to edit the lead, I can pretty much do so. And of course, change the lead owner to someone else. So all the details, all of these can be done right on the mobile device. If you notice, the look and feel is kind of similar to what we have done with the iPad native app, and we try to bring in the native app look and feel as well as the seamlessness to the mobile web app. So there is a lot going on at the back end, but we are trying to retain the native application experience and the consistency there and bring that to the mobile web app. And the same thing can be done for pretty much all the accounts, and contacts and pretty much all the modules. We are adding more modules here as we speak, but again, as I said, this is basically a preview. You can add data, edit data, delete data, right from your mobile device. So this is not a simple view-only data here. So I just wanted to give you a preview of what we are working on. So we hope you'll like it. So I thought I'll just give you a heads up. So these are a few screenshots of our mobile app. So if you notice, all these applications, if you notice just our CRM application, right? We have now a native CRM Android app, a native iPhone app, a native iPad app, and of course we also have the native BlackBerry app, and on top of it we have a mobile optimized, that is smartphone optimized CRM app, and a tablet optimized CRM app. And that is the mobile focus Sridhar was talking about. And the same thing is going to happen for pretty much all our applications. So you're going to see lots of mobile announcements today. And so I think that is all we have so far. Thank you. So let's switch back to the topic. How do you get a complete view of your customers, right? It's not something that you have in your CRM system where you just view your contact information right in your CRM system. I mean, customer is the heart of any business. But if you look at the customer data, it is kind of all over the place. The email exchanges that you have with your customer is in your email system. The customer support information, support exchanges you have with your customer is in customer support information. Of course, you have your contact in your in your CRM application. And based on some of the analysis done by some analysts, they say 40% is really trapped in your email. So, and there is a percentage of this information that exists in every single system, like your accounting system, like your document management system. There is something related to your customer that exists in pretty much every single system, right? How do we really pull that together, right? So let's look at what it means, right? If you go to your CRM system, by default it has some customer information. But does it really have the latest information about your customer? Probably not, because your customer is not coming and updating your CRM system. Well, he'll probably tweet whatever he has on his mind, or he'll probably post it on Facebook, right? So your customer information is, you have some contact information in your customer, and whatever is the latest basically exists in social applications like Twitter or Facebook. And what happens when the customer changes jobs, right? He's not going to inform everyone. Well, he'll probably or likely update his LinkedIn status. So that is, if you include these four pieces, the contact information in your CRM system, then you have the LinkedIn, bring in the Facebook, you bring in the all these Twitter information, then you can get a little better information about your customer. Then add to it the email. As I was saying, 40% of the business information is trapped in email, right? So what you typically do when you try to find your customer information, you go to your CRM system, search for your customer, you find the contact information there, then switch to your email application, search for the same contact, and you see that, and these are two different places. So you're switching contacts, these are two different applications, and they have to be really integrated to really provide a good, complete view about your customer. But then it doesn't end there, and something like this has to work across email systems. But then it doesn't end there. There are other places where the information is trapped. For example, phone. When your customer calls you on your landline, well, that information is not really tracked. You don't know, you can't keep a log of all the calls that are coming in, or maybe all the calls that are going out, no matter which system you use. It could be your landline, it could be your mobile phone. Well, that's another area where you have your customer information that is needed to really provide a complete view of your customer. And then there are more, like customer support, when you are supporting your customers, there are various support channels. Like it could be customer support through email, it could be customer support through telephone, it could be customer support through live chat or any of these. Well, all this information is needed because when next time you open, go to the customer details page, you need to know when he really came to you requesting a certain support, certain things from you, or maybe requesting support, and that has to be really part of the entire customer view, right? And again, then there is other thing, documents. There are cases where you share lots of documents with your customers. Lots of documents, it could be agreements, it could be anything, right? These are customer-related documents, and the way that it typically manages, you create a folder for every customer, and you basically dump all the documents related to that customer there. So you go to your CRM system to view your contact customers information, but you go to your document management system, go to that specific folder, and then view the documents there. Again, two different systems, two separate views, you're switching context and all of that. And then the list goes on. There are cases where you manage multiple projects with your customer. You may be working on a project with your customer. In that case, you need to basically do that in the context of the customer. And how about the invoices? How about the invoices you send to the customer, and how about the payments that you receive from the customer? Well, again, that is trapped in your accounting system. That has to be part of it. And if you look at all of these individual pieces, it's typically not, if you look at most SMBs, they really don't get all this information together well because they are in 10 different systems. It's important that a system provides a complete view of your customer. So when you go to a customer, you should be able to see all the information about your customer. It could even be something like a campaign email you send to a customer where you want to know whether a customer clicked on the email. Or you may or may not have noticed it. If you look at the entire things here, on the contact information side, we have integrated Twitter, we have integrated Facebook, we have integrated LinkedIn. And the email side, you have seen a lot of innovation there. We have introduced something like Mail Magnet. We have integrated with pretty much any email system. We have automated tools for Outlook. We have automated tools for Exchange, and pretty much any email system there. And of course, we have the telephony integration. We launched, that's the reason we launched our phone bridge, where when a customer calls you, and you are in front of your CRM, you'll see a prompt saying, hey, this particular customer is calling you. You click on the link, and it'll show you, it'll take you to the customer page before you pick up the call. And as soon as you end the call, it'll basically show you a small box saying, hey, do you want to log the call? And that feature, we have added that on your phones as well, both Android and iPhone. So you can directly call your customer right from the phone, and after the call, it'll prompt you, do you want to log the call? And even for iPad, if in case you don't, because iPad doesn't have the phone capability, we automatically integrated that into Skype, so you can directly Skype your customer, and after the call, you can take notes. And all this information is logged into the CRM system, and that is just on the phone side. And of course, we have other modules like customer support. We have launched Zoho Support, where you can offer customer service to your customers through email and multiple channels, through social channels. You may want to create a ticket for the tweet from your customer and respond through your Twitter account. Right? That is one channel. Similarly, supporting customers through email is another channel. Supporting customers through your telephone is another channel. How about live support? When a customer comes to you, it basically has to show you that this is an existing customer. You already chatted with him 3 times, and he's probably there maybe for the same question or a different question. So you need a good live support system that integrates with the CRM system, and that's exactly what we have done. And then you have other things like document management. If you noticed, we recently launched document library that basically brings all your customer documents right in the context of your CRM system. And then we have integrated Zoho projects for managing projects in the context of the customer. Similarly, invoice and payments, we have done some integration, but there's a lot in the works. And of course, campaigns, we recently launched campaigns and that was integrated, so you really know what are the emails that you really send to that particular customer and many others. And all the list actually is available in the CRM system. If you go to a CRM system and look at your customer, all this information is pretty much available as a single page. And that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to provide a complete information about your customer in a single view. And that not only includes integration with Zoho systems, but it also includes integration with other systems. As I mentioned above, we integrate with QuickBooks for accounting, we integrate with Exchange, Outlook, we integrate with Google Docs, we integrate with social systems. But we wanted to provide a complete view of your customer within the CRM, and that basically involves a lot of work. Because if you have to do it, well, it's a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of money. So that is what we are trying to do. We want you to focus on your business and basically not take care of this IT. And with that, I'll probably conclude this. In fact, that's basically an image of a goodie box that we want to hand it over at the end of the day. So before you leave the event, please collect this goodie box outside at the reception area. And thank you. Have a nice day.
I think actually I'm gonna hold you hostage because we have a few minutes before we break into our next session, and maybe we can do some Q&A about either Zoho Vault, perhaps Pulse, any of the new products that you saw, or some questions about the presentation. So I saw maybe one or two hands, so yeah, let me get you there real quick.
Excellent on the leads. That's a great tool.
Thank you.
Is there any consideration for barcode reader in that application?
Yes, we considered it. In fact, we tried to discuss that with many vendors. What barcode does, it basically gives you a number, and you have to take that number and look it up in a vendor site, which means the vendor has to give us the appropriate APIs to basically support that. We talked to some of the popular vendors, and they were not too keen on providing us because their business model depends on it. So we're trying to support as many as possible. We certainly have something ready, but then we need support from other vendors to really support it. Yes, we are definitely looking into it. And we are also looking into partnering with some event vendors. And some of them agreed to provide us the APIs, so we are planning to expand them. Yes. Thank you.
Good morning, Raju. I really do like the Leads mobile application. I bought a couple of weeks ago the card scan mobile application. Do I have to buy the Leads, or is it an upgrade?
It's actually a separate application. Card scanner is available as a subset of the Leads application. For the business card scanning part, it uses a separate. It uses the same engine, but we have added a layer on top of it, integrating with your CRM system for assigning leads, assigning events. And there are some nice things we are adding. For example, if you go to a trade show, you have a customer come in and say, hey, can you send me a few documents related to your product? So that lead scanner application is going to add a few things like integration with your document management system, the document library you have in your CRM system. Those are the things that will make its way into the lead scanner. So the card scanner app is basically a subset of the Leads app. In terms of the purchasing, you'll have to purchase again. Well, the good news is it's a one-time fee of $5.
But then, let's say for someone new, is that person needs to buy both, or he buys one or the other?
They can, if you just want to scan cards into your CRM system, either one will work. The plan for card scanner is beyond CRM, because you should be able to scan a card and save that contact into your email, save that contact into your accounting system, Zoho Books or your Zoho Invoice. So it is a generic card scanner application that works across all Zoho products. but the leads application is specific to CRM system. So if all you're working, if all you need is CRM integration, both, I mean, no matter which application you choose, it's basically the same engine. But leads application will evolve towards the supporting a lot of scanning badges along those sides. Card scanning will be a complementary thing, but it will evolve towards scanning badges more and more, and automatically sending campaigns right from your phone. For example, when you scan the lead, you should be able to just compose an email right there with that email address, attach the required documents, and send it out. But at the back end, it could be using maybe a Zoho campaigns engine, right? But as far as you're concerned, all the complexity is hidden from you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, a few.
Arun, I got one here.
You're doing a really great job of explaining all the different pieces that you're pulling together. Excuse me. And with all the users you currently have, and they're using the system, they're using all these different apps, are you looking at ways to kind of dig into that data and provide insights that may be able to help customers be more efficient in the use, in addition to providing the applications, but also maybe providing certain insights as to, you see what they're trying to do, doing some best practices, or using the data to provide some insights that will make it more efficient?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our mail magnet that we launched recently is a great example. Right? If you look at it, if you're a salesperson, a CRM system knows a lot about you. In a sense, it knows a lot about the customers you're working with. It knows a lot about your potentials, your opportunities, and it knows a lot about your meetings, the upcoming meetings, and the tasks and all of that, right? How about we automatically use that information, use that intelligence, and come up with an algorithm that automatically applies that filter into your email, for example, right? And in fact, that is exactly what Mail Magnet is. It takes that information, applies that smartness, and applies that to the mail application, the mail data.
Raju, I think the question was more of, are we going to use data across customers to provide insights? Like in your business, you could be more efficient this way. Actually, we have just recently set up a big data team, a data analytics team, to do exactly that. We are now gathering all of these pieces of information. We'll provide these summarized views of what's the best practice in this, what's a better way to use CRM or projects, all of these. We're doing that, but it's still some ways off. We just have set up a big data team on this.
Yeah.
Hi, I had a question on the phone tracking for calls. You mentioned it works with Skype. Is there any other phone platforms that it works with, like Microsoft Link?
We are adding a few phone platforms. For now, it works with, I think, 4 PBX systems, like the open source PBX systems and few others. So we are adding more phone platforms. It doesn't work with Microsoft Link yet, but we are adding more, and in fact, we have some partners who are also adding support there.
And a second question: if let's say you're a remote worker, you're using your phone, your cell phone to do all your communication. If you have calls back to back, does it still log those entries as empty? If you don't enter notes in your phone and at that time, you can go in and update it on your computer later, or do you have to do it at the time of the call?
No, you can always add a log later. That's yeah. It'll automatically prompt you after the call to make sure that you don't forget it. So, and you can always go back and update, add log later. Yes. So, yeah.
I'm relatively new to Zoho. You mentioned that it connects with QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
How would I get more information on that? Who would I contact, and how does it? I mean, do you know a little bit? Does it share customer data and share invoicing?
Yeah, the invoicing data is synchronized between the QuickBooks, and the customer data is synchronized in QuickBooks. If you're using CRM, go to the setup section. There's an integration section, and there will be a link called Other Apps. There is a Zoho app integration, others. You'll see other apps, and there will be a QuickBooks integration listed there. You can choose what systems or what data you want to sync. You can also choose how often you want to sync, and also which one gets a higher priority. For example, do you want your QuickBooks data to replace your CRM data, or do you want the CRM data to replace QuickBooks data, or maybe you just leave it as is, and when there is a conflict, you should manually do it. So you can choose these options in the plugin.
Thank you.
I want to actually quickly mention on the Leads app, that's something that Raju personally came up with, and he actually, he has a small team that built the app. So this is actually one of his own, he noticed how putting together these events, what are the pain points. So this app came from that actually. And then he built it on the rest of the CRM platform. So I just want to highlight that. I want to thank Raju for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
2 quick questions just with the Leads app. If you meet somebody at an event and you kind of want to log that, will it update the information and kind of show under that, even if they're already in your contact base?
If you're
If they've existed before and not necessarily associated to an
it
event.
doesn't download the data currently back into your phone app. That's
No,
currently,
yeah.
but that will be fixed soon.
But
Again,
it's more like I'm thinking more. I met the same person again at an event, and then I want to connect that event, so I remember that I met them at that event. Will that upload and update their record to?
the
say
event information will always be created. And one point about the event, the way it works is if you create an event and if you add all the leads to an event, it automatically creates a campaign in your CRM system.
Awesome.
Once you have it as a campaign in your CRM system, you can associate a workflow to it, which means you can say, whenever I add a new lead to this particular campaign, send out a thank you email with a customized email template for that particular attendees for that particular event.
Nice.
That is available today. It supports that.
And it'll associate with multiple events, even if you have the same contact. You might have met them at 3 events.
You have whatever event you basically choose, it'll be saving that to that. So the multiple event association is not available currently.
Okay. And sorry, my other question. You had some great visuals in there, and as a partner moving forward, is there any way I can use some of the slides in my presentation? So
Sure. Sorry, I didn't put it up there because the images I created last night. So I'll make sure that the presentation is available by.
And
this
are we
afternoon.
allowed to kind of reuse some of those?
Of course. So all these presentations and all of that will be available on your Zoholics app. If you go to this particular session, you can download it to your phone and use this.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we have time for one more question. So I'll let Arun pick who the lucky winner is.
Can we write a note or a comment per log of a call?
Yes.
Oh,
It's basically for every call you basically log it, which is basically a note is taken and basically add it to your note section. And you can have multiple notes as well.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you all and have a nice event. We have a good number of advanced sessions today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Raju.